It's great that you're here to work on vibrato. Commit to doing these exercises every day for a week and you'll be surprised how quickly you are able to create the hand shape, make the correct motion, and be ready for the next steps. We're going to start exploring a basic vibrato, and we just want to start with setting up the position of your thumb. So we want the thumb perpendicular to the neck of the instrument by the first finger tape for violin and violas. You can see my finger tape right there. And then we also want the bottom of the fingernail to be about the height of the bottom of the black part of the fingerboard. So if you were looking straight down at your thumb, that bottom of the fingernail is lined up with the bottom of the fingerboard. You can look at my wonderful artistic rendering there. Now we want you to hang the hand really heavy. If your thumb feels slippery, go ahead and breathe some hot air on it. Steam it up, and then it'll stay put better. Hanging that heavy, heavy hand. Okay, now that you've got the setup, we're gonna do what I call swing the monkey. If you've ever been on monkey bars or climbed a tree and just hung on a branch and swung, that's what you're doing with your hand, okay? Now, after you get that comfortable, again, the weight of your hand is on the thumb. It could just fall to the ground. After you do that, now we're gonna pivot the fingers so they could be on the fingerboard, and we're gonna rock the cradle. If you think of this as a cradle, if you moved your hand like this, the baby would fall out. We want to keep the fingers so that the baby wouldn't fall out of the cradle. Okay, we're going to steam up our thumb again. Set it by the first finger tape, perpendicular to the neck of the instrument. Okay, let the hand hang heavy. Swing the monkey. Pivot the fingers, so you're still swinging, but now you're rocking the cradle, not letting the baby fall out. Okay, now if you put your second finger on the F-sharp tape, think of it like Velcro or super glue, and you're trying to shake your hand a little bit to wiggle. Another way to learn how to make the motion is to use your instrument hand like you would if you had your violin in place, but stick your other arm straight out. So you're going to pretend that your forearm here is your instrument. What I like about this is since our skin is flexible, it's easier to get that feeling of that forwards and backwards motion to create that vibrato motion. Okay, and you can also tell how tightly you might be pressing. You want the pressure to be constant with the finger, not pulsating, okay? So constant pressure forward towards the elbow, back towards the wrist. That's another way to practice. A third way to practice is just to pretend you're almost shifting with the thumb, and you go faster, and then all of a sudden you just throw one of the fingers down and the hand keeps rocking back and forth. The vibrato motion is really a pivoting of the finger towards the high side of the note and then the low side of the note. I often tell the students it's pivoting from one corner of the fingernail to the other, while maintaining a good hand position while you're playing. You can use any finger to practice these skills, and you should practice them on all of them, even before we use the bow. Try to do these videos every day for a week without worrying about what it's going to sound like with the bow, and you'll be better off once we add the bow with it. Good luck. For violins and violas, think of your vibrato as a forwards and backwards motion towards the bridge and towards the scroll, or away from the bridge. Much like we're shifting and moving back and forth, except we're not letting the finger actually release from the note it was on. Okay, so I'm relaxing my hand against the neck. I'm not bracing it against there. And instead of moving forward, I'm just letting it rotate back and forth on the fingertip. I'm going to show you from another angle too. So you can see it's not a pressure thing, it's not a pushing down, it is a rotating or a pivoting of the finger. Another thing that can be helpful is if you take the scroll of the violin and brace it against the solid object, because that can make it feel like it's not doing this against your body. And so the wall supports your instrument and you practice that vibrato motion.